start off this lesson by giving all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Macha Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Peace, salutations, and blessings up to the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying. All right. So, as the title entails, the wilderness, okay, is nothing but the testing ground, not the destination. Okay. And again, what makes people, well, ultimately, if you fall out the truth, is because you're not of Yahweh Bashem Shai. Okay. Those that have that vision, those that can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. Those that understand that the wilderness has to be traveled in order to obtain the kingdom. Those are the ones that have the right mindset. Okay, those are the ones that have the mind of Hamashiach, because they will understand that overcoming the wilderness, okay, is nothing but a test. Okay, they understand that there's better things coming, and they understand that they have to endure. Okay, just as Yahushua endured. Okay, so it says here. As a matter of fact, let me bring that out first. Speaking of Yahushua and speaking of vision, okay, Hebrews 12, and I'll start at 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Okay, so put aside all the vanity, put aside all the earthly desires. Okay, put aside the non-importance, okay, of the flesh, okay, and let us run with patience, meaning with sufferance, okay. You see, the race that is set before us, the race that will lead us unto the kingdom. That race is a representation of the wilderness. Let us overcome and pass through this wilderness so that we can obtain that good land, that pleasant land where dwelleth righteousness. Okay? But we have to overcome these things. Looking unto Yahweh Shai. So not only do we run the race that is before us, but we're looking at Yahweh Shai, his walk. Okay? What he taught us, being his disciples. Okay? Seeking to emulate his walk so that we can be pleasing, so that we can please Yahweh, the Father. Looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is sat down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. That cross, that temptation, that Yahweh Shai's walk, that was in a sense that wilderness as well. And again, you have to put that into perspective. Even Yahweh Shai went in the wilderness before he started his journey. Before he started his ministry, he went 40 days, 40 nights fasting in the wilderness. Okay? And that is a representation of Israel. Yahweh Shai was a representation of the elect overcoming the flesh, overcoming the wilderness. Okay? And being found acceptable unto the Most High, because afterwards angels ministered unto him. Okay? Just as we, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Shai, if we overcome, the angels, we will have access to life everlasting, man. The angels will minister unto Yahweh Shai will minister unto us that in order to give us everlasting life, man. Okay? You see, but again, we have to go through that hour of tribulation, and we have to overcome it. We have to go through that wilderness. Okay? So it says here, for consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Okay, so this is only like the tip of the iceberg, man. We're not really at the fullness of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, where soldiers are knocking at your door, trying to snatch you out of your house. Okay, you're not face to face with a guillotine. Okay, having to make a decision whether to take the mark of the beast or whether to die for the name of the Lord. Okay, so like, see, we're not at that level yet. Okay, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Okay, but even then, we still have to endure. Okay, see, are you willing to lose your life to obtain it? Okay, understanding that you have to go through the wilderness. Okay, and again, like I mentioned in the title, the wilderness is a testing ground. So let's go into Deuteronomy 8 and 1. All the commandments which I commanded thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply, and go and possess the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy power led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. The wilderness is only there for us to put us in a scenario, put us face to face with a decision to obey Yahweh Hashem Yahushai or to disobey, to have faith or to become unfaithful. Okay? You see? And he humbled thee, and he suffered thee to hunger, and he fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live, so like that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. Okay? Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy power chasteneth thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways and to fear him. Okay? Not only that wilderness is also ultimately a process for us to know to fear the Lord, to know to love the Lord, to know to acknowledge his might, to acknowledge his power, to acknowledge Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. The Lord brings us low so that we can understand that we are subject unto him. The Lord brings us to a lower state so that we can understand that we're nothing but man. Okay? And that we need Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Okay? That's one thing that you can learn from the wilderness. That without Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, you'd be through. Because again, it's the Lord that allowed us to overcome that wilderness, that allowed us to get to the other side, to get to the promised land. Okay? He gave us manna, which, as it says, our fathers knew not where it came from. The Lord fed us. The Lord kept us, provided us with water when we were athirst. Okay? When we were faint. Okay? The Lord provided us with life, man. Okay? So that we may know that it's not the carnal food that sustains us, but it's the spirit. It's the words of Yahweh Bashim El Shai that makes us able to overcome. And again, through that same knowledge, that's how we will overcome the tribulations ahead of us. Okay? Just as it says in Revelation 12 and 10. And it reads, Revelation 12 and 11, Salakia. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death, knowing that Yahweh Hashem El Shah has power to give them back their lives. Okay? The Lord quickeneth whomsoever he will. Okay? Yahweh Shah has that power to bring us back to life. So we don't die if you die for the name of the Lord. Okay? You only get translated. Okay? You see? It says here. No, let's see. Wilderness. It says here in Hebrews. Hebrews 3, and I'll start at 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief, and departing from the living power. So again, take heed, man. Okay? You're coming into this truth. You acknowledge this as being the words of the Lord, okay, the path, the immortality, the path to be pleasing unto Yahweh Ba'ashim El Shai, that straight gate, okay. You acknowledge that this is it. This is what you were looking for your whole life, okay. That means that you counted the cost, okay. There's no turning back now, okay. Once you pick up your plow, once you acknowledge that the Lord is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is His only begotten Son, okay. Now you're walking that path of righteousness. You'll pass from death unto life, okay. So again, you have to take heed to yourself, lest Satan takes away the word from you, takes away this blessed seed, okay. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So again, the lust, the lust of the flesh, the desires of the world, snare and take away the precious the precious faith of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua from your heart, from your mind. Okay. So again, this is another reason why you should constantly be meditating upon the ordinances of the Lord, constantly watching videos, constantly reading, constantly being in the spirit, man. Okay, in order to uh, resist, being able to resist the devil when he comes with his wiles to take you away from the faith. Okay, because again, that's ultimately Satan's role. Okay, to take you away from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, bring you back to your lowly estate, cast you down from your excellency. Okay, that's the whole that's the whole purpose of Satan. Okay, to test and try us. Okay, for we are made partakers of Hamashiach if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end. And that's the key part. You hold fast this faith unto the end. While it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts, as in the provocation. For some, when they had heard, did provoke. Howbeit, not all that came out of Egypt by Moses, but with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom swore he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we so we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. Okay? So that wilderness will ultimately reveal who's who. Okay? If you, as it says, if your strength is small in the time of adversity, it's because you're weak. Okay? If you faint, Salaka, if you faint in the time of adversity, it's because your strength is small. You have no faith. You don't truly believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? So again, the Lord was angry with these individuals that were so called in the truth. Okay, because at the end they fainted. They shown that they were truly unbelieving souls. Okay, and the Lord rejected them. That's why the majority of those that were, I believe, from that generation, only Joshua and Caleb were able to enter into the promised land. Okay, because again, the Lord gave them a different spirit. The Lord gave them a spirit of faith. Okay, you see, and, you know, I hope I'm correct on that statement. Matter of fact, let me see if I can bring it up. Okay. Let me see. Here we go. Numbers 14. Numbers 14 and 26. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmured against me. Okay, so again, the Lord hears everything that we're saying, all the words that come out of our mouths, even our thoughts. The Lord hears it. You know, okay. So the Lord is hearing all the murmuring, all the backbiting, all the evil conversations that come forth out of the mouth of Israel. Okay, while they were in the wilderness. Okay, say unto them, as truly as I live, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to the whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me, doubtless ye shall not come into the land, wherein which I swore to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Okay, so as I mentioned, those two, because they were faithful, they were found faithful in the sight of Yahweh Bashim El Shai. They were murmuring, speaking evil of Moses, the man that the Lord had established, or even against himself. Okay, you see, that's how the Caleb and Joshua were able to enter into the promised land. Okay, which in other words would be synonymous to the kingdom. Okay, you see, Caleb and Joshua represent the elect, just as Yahushua represents the elect during his hour while he was in the wilderness. Joshua and Caleb overcame the wilderness. You see, Joshua and Caleb overcame the wilderness. Yahushua overcame the wilderness. Okay, you see, Moses overcame the wilderness, but because he made one fault, that caused him to not get into the to the promised land. But we know that he came back as King David. Okay, you see. But again, in a way, we can say that he overcame the wilderness because he was the guide that led them to the. He saw it from afar. Okay, he saw it from afar. So in a sense, you can say that he made it. Okay, you see. But again, that wilderness is not to destroy us, but ultimately to test us, to try us. And we have to have that understanding. The Lord will not bring us, let me bring it out. First Corinthians 10 and 13. There had no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Okay, the fact that the Lord brought us through the desert, through the wilderness, because He knew we could overcome it. Okay, but because of unbelief, okay, because of doubt, because of the spirit of, because Satan entered into the minds of our people. Okay, a rebellious and stiff-hearted people. Okay, you see, they started the spirit of unbelief started growing on them. Okay, but deep down they were able to overcome, man. Okay, you see, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. The Lord brought us to the wilderness to test us, to try us. Deep down, we should have been able to overcome the wilderness, but because that generation was made without faith, they folded. Okay, you see. It says here, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape. Okay, that ye may be able to bear it. But without faith, you will not understand that there's a way out. Without understanding, you will not see the light. Okay, at the end of the tunnel. Without faith, you will not see. You will not have hope to believe that the Lord is dealing with you in the evils that are happening in your surroundings. Whatever hell that you're catching, okay, you're not going to believe that the Lord is going to protect you. So you're going to fold, you're going to lose, man. Okay, you see, that's why it's important to have faith. Okay, the wilderness is there to test us, not to destroy us. Okay, it's to learn to trust in the Lord, learn to trust in the process. Okay, cleave unto Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Okay, because again, you have to put it in your mind, you cannot save yourself. You will not deliver yourself from captivity, from the hands of our oppressors, from death. You will not deliver yourself from that, man. You need to cleave unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai through this doctrine, through this hope. Okay? You see? It says here in Jude. Jude 1 and 5, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though Ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterwards destroyed them that believed not. They didn't believe, so the Lord destroyed them. Without faith, it is impossible to please the Lord. Why would the Lord deliver you from evil? Okay, if you're only there murmuring, backbiting, and disagreeing with the path that He has set for you. Okay, being a complete demon, a rebellious demon, man. Okay, always going against the will of the Lord and thinking that you know better than the Most High Himself. Okay, you see, so we can't be surprised at the judgment that the Lord will bring in the days to come, man. Okay, we can't be surprised. Okay, there's gonna be great judgments. Okay, a great number of deletion. Okay, and the Lord is gonna claim a lot of bodies in the days to come for their unfaithfulness. Okay, so do not do as they did, as our forefathers did in that day when they called the provocation of the Lord, man. Okay, they called upon themselves the wrath of the Lord because of their unbelief. Okay, so again, keep your eyes single, focused on Yahweh Shai, focused on the kingdom, knowing that even if we're catching hell right now, it's not forever, man. Matter of fact, let me end up in 2nd Ezra 7. Shalom, shalom. It says here in 2nd Ezra 7 and 6, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. That is the kingdom of heaven. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Okay, and in other words, the wilderness. In order to get to the kingdom, you have to go through the wilderness. Through much tribulation, we will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Okay, we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so it says here, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Okay, and if you don't have faith, of course you're going to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water. And that one path represents the path of truth, that straight gate. Okay, there's no other way that you can obtain the kingdom and access the kingdom but through Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai said, well, I am the way, the path, the life, okay, the light. Okay, Yahweh Shai is the answer. Okay, without Yahweh Shai, you will fall. You're gonna fall either in the fire or either in the deep water, but you're gonna fall to destruction regardless. Without Yahweh Shai, you can't make it to the kingdom. Okay, you will never overcome the wilderness. You will be stuck there to be destroyed. Okay, as the unfaithful of our people during those 40 years. Okay, as I read before, only Joshua and Caleb were found faithful in that generation and were able to enter in the promised land. And we pray that we're part of that same mindset, that we have the same mindset as Caleb and Joshua. Okay, that we have the same spirit of faith. Okay, in the face of all odds. Okay, that the Lord is with us, that the Lord is dealing with us, and that He will protect us and deliver us in the time of evil. Okay. If the city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Okay? No, you have to pass through the wilderness. We have to go through the wilderness to get to the promised land. We have to go to the wilderness to get to the kingdom of heaven. Just as Yahweh Shai overcame the wilderness, we must overcome the wilderness as well. Okay? Because it's only through the wilderness that we're going to grow and strengthen our faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay? It's solely through that process of catching hell that you're going to be exalted in the spirit through Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay? It says here, it says here in Hebrews 2 and 10, you see, Hebrews 2 and 9, but we see Yahweh Shai, who was made a little lower than the angels, for the suffering of the death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of the Most High, should taste death for every Israelite man. Okay? For it becometh him, for it became him for whom all are things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of our salvation perfect through suffering. Yahweh was made perfect because he went through the wilderness. Yahweh was found faithful because he overcame the wilderness. Okay? Just as us going through the same tribulations, being partakers of Yahweh's suffering, will be found faithful as long as we overcome, as long as we endure until the end. Okay? So with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson, straight to the point, as I try. Okay? And with that, and give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Peace, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Until next lesson, shalom. Lord willing, this was edifying.